Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to Kutztown University here from Keystone Arena for tonight's wrestling match between your Kutztown University Golden Bears and the Shippensburg University Raiders, a Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference contest and the last one of the season for both sides. KU with the 7-6 overall record, riding a 6-match winning streak, 3-3 overall in the PSAC. In contrast, the Raiders at 7-8 overall and 1-5 in the PSAC. Darren Jurgen bringing you all the action tonight. Admittedly, this is my first go at broadcasting wrestling, so we're looking for any critiques out there. You can tweet in at KU Golden Bears, but we're going to give this one a shot and give our wrestlers the pub they deserve here on their senior night. Senior night festivities have concluded here, and we're just doing the pre-match intros with the lineups and matchups tonight. But Ryan Appleby, along with Austin Petrill and Cameron Scalio, were all honored pre-match as the seniors for the Golden Bears. Unfortunately, we will not see Austin Petrill tonight. Still recovering from a knee injury. Did not wrestle in KU's last match, a 25-16 win over Millersville. So tonight at 1:25, which you will see here shortly live via our YouTube web stream, will feature Dylan Brown for KU versus David Reagan. Dylan Brown is a sophomore at 125 from Bethlehem, PA, and is wrestling in his first official match of the season tonight. So not really sure what to expect from Brown, but he gets an opportunity with Petrill banged up, and we will see what Brown has to offer as we're going to see the coin toss and choosing of colors here are referees. That's Jeff Riemel and Ryan Appleby in the middle of the mat for KU, the two team captains. Appleby, as we said, the senior, honored pre-match, and Riemel, an outstanding junior at 184, the product of North Penn High School. So we appreciate all of you tuning in to tonight's match. Couldn't make it out to Keystone. This is a great way for us to provide it to you. And we've done a lot of the streams without broadcasting, but we're going to give it a go tonight and see how things go. So teams will break the huddle. And like I said, we're going to see Dylan Brown at 125, who makes his way out onto the mat for KU. And he will face off with David Reagan from Shippensburg as we are about to get this one underway. Reagan comes into this one currently on a 5-match losing streak. And last win was against Nick Canetta, actually here at the KU Duels, winning by fall back on January 26th. As we said with Brown, this is his first real action of the season. So not sure what to expect, but I guess from a standpoint of him having an advantage, Reagan certainly hasn't seen Brown, just like we haven't. So we will see what Brown has to offer here as we are just about set. Two wrestlers will shake hands in the middle, and we are underway here from Keystone Arena. Brown and Reagan. Brown goes quick for the shot down to the leg. Is able to get the single leg and gets around, and that's a quick 2 there for Brown to begin the match. Great start by Brown as now he's going to try to build up some riding time. Has control of Reagan, pulling him on his back, and now on the stomach is Reagan towards the bottom half of the circle. As we mentioned, KU been riding that hot streak, 6 consecutive matches won, and this is really the time when you want your guys rounding into form. That may be why we're not seeing the likes of Austin Petrill tonight, trying to get them rested up for the regional, which is coming here in 2 weeks, starting on February 23rd. But Brown doing a great job here so far, able to get Reagan back down onto the mat and in complete control as he looks to build. Brown has him on his back. That should be a 2-point near fall there as he had Reagan down on the one shoulder blade. Looks like points have not been awarded yet. Brown still in control early on, and for a kid who hasn't wrestled much, he looks great right now, but Reagan going to get out of that, and there's the 1-point escape and back up. So now 2-1 the score in favor of Brown as we're about halfway through the first period. Brown and Reagan really staying up high, and you'll notice that a lot. Just going to try to change the levels, take a shot down low, and Brown was successful in that early on, but now Reagan takes a page out of his book, takes the shot, single leg, and he's looking to control the other ankle to get the takedown. Good job by Brown of scrambling, pushing the head away down to the mat. See if he can get out of it, rolls with it, and is able to scramble well, and it looks like you're going to be ruled out of bounds. That's an excellent job there by Brown to scramble away from Reagan. Looked like he was going to get the takedown, but Brown says no, and we're back up neutral here with 1:13 left in the first period. Good action up top here. Shippensburg this season really struggling in the PSAC, just 1-5, but KU was looking similar early on in the season, really struggling in these dual meets. But like we said, on that 6-game winning streak or 6-match winning streak, and they found a way to turn around their team record. And really, it's more about how the individuals are doing, but it's a good sign when your team's getting wins. That means your individuals are performing well towards the end of the season. Another shot taken there. Reagan going for the single leg. Had it, but Brown able to scramble out again. Is he going to get around and get a takedown of his own? Trying to work that right leg out. Awkward position now for Brown as he's down on the mat. Reagan still with control on the right leg. Brown still working around. If he can get that leg out from underneath, he will be able to control Reagan and get another two in what seemed like Reagan was going to get the takedown. Awkward position now. Reagan's headgear flying off. A lot of rolling going on, but Reagan able to outlast Brown, and he gets the 2-point takedown, and that is big as the first period ends. And from my limited knowledge of wrestling, it's all about what you do in those last 30 seconds of the period. You get those points at the end of the period. That can go a long way, and Reagan is able to win that battle and take a 3-2 lead here in period number 2. Currently Brown with 56 seconds of riding time. We know that if the match goes the full duration and the wrestler has 1 minute or more, they will get awarded an additional point. But for now, Reagan going to try to work that down. He's able to do that here as Brown starts on bottom. Brown able to get out, and now we're all tied up. And no riding time advantage either way, so it is somewhat of a stalemate here in this first match. Brown doing an ample job, but Reagan keeps getting that shot down onto the left leg and gets around, but Brown does a great job of rolling around, and he'll get the 2-point takedown there in what seemed like he was down and out. Trying to take Reagan out of bounds, and he's able to do so. Looks like they will rule that Brown's still on top, so Brown will get ready to cover here with 1:30 left in the second period. 5-3 your score. Brown looking to get KU off to a good start. As we said, usually Austin Petrill in this spot, but Brown doing an excellent job in replacement of Petrill. Brown controlling. Looking to build up that riding time. Now he's over 1 minute. So that'll give him an extra point if he needs it towards the end, but Reagan gets the escape. So thus far, a takedown for Reagan, 2 for Brown, and 2 escapes for each, and that's how we've gotten to 5-4. Brown on top, and now Reagan seems to be in control, has the high hold on the mat. Brown got to be careful he doesn't roll onto his back, as that's what Reagan's trying to do, turn him onto the back and work for some near fall points. So far, nothing, and called neutral on the mat. So good job by Brown. Brown's been in a couple sticky situations here early, but has been able to work his way out of them each time and still has that 5-4 lead. Brown keeping a good distance here from Reagan. Reagan's been very effective in taking that lead leg of Brown, the right leg, and getting that single leg to take him down. Less than 30 seconds left here, and we saw Reagan in the first period pick up that big takedown towards the end of the period, and he's trying to do it again, and he has not completed it yet. Good shot there by Reagan, but Brown may be able to flip around again as Reagan is on top. Brown looking for it, but Reagan does exactly what he did in the first period and gets a big takedown in the last 10 seconds. So now he will take a 6-5 lead. Now Brown does have the 1 minute of riding time, and I'd assume he'd go on top here as Reagan will be underneath. But now Brown needing a takedown with the score essentially 6-6. Format here, 3 minutes in the first period and then 2 in the second and third. Reagan out easily. So now the score 7-5 in favor of Shippensburg's 125-pounder. David Reagan, a junior from Forest Hill, Maryland, by way of Bel Air High School, looking to get Ship on the board first. Brown goes down to his knees, denies the shot. Good defense there by Brown. Back up top. Reagan is really looking to grab that right leg. Been very effective with the single leg all day. Tied up the hands, and now the wrestlers will make their distance. Get back neutral, goes for the right leg shot, and it works again, but Brown with a nice scramble and roll, and if he can put him down, that's 2 points there for Brown. So Brown hasn't looked the prettiest, but he's done a great job in going down to the mat and getting himself in control as he's back on top of Reagan. He'll let Reagan get out there on the escape, and so again, with Brown having the minute 19 of riding time right now, scores essentially 8-8. And we got a minute left. This is a good one here for the first one from Keystone Arena. Reagan goes for the shot down to the leg. Brown with the scramble, but that is a takedown before he goes out of bounds. And Coach Ziad Haddad, less than pleased with that, thought that maybe Brown had slid out of bounds, but Reagan with another good job, scoring in the last minute with ease. That's now 3 consecutive periods that he's been able to do that, and now it's really got to be go time for Brown. He's got to take his shot here in the last 49 seconds, needing a takedown to extend this match. Brown down, and it looks like Reagan's going to try to build down that riding time. Brown almost able to get out of it. Cannot, as Reagan stays on top. Riding time getting dangerously close there to a minute, and he's not quite out yet. Takes him right back down. Job of using that weight. And that's going to be finally the 1-point escape for Brown, but in Reagan's stance, he did a great job of getting that under a minute. So now Brown needing a takedown to extend this. If he can get a takedown in 4 seconds of riding time, he can win this with a flourish. Reagan takes a shot. Takes him down there. No takedown awarded yet. And now a 2-point takedown as Reagan flips his hips around and controls up top. And that will pretty much do it. So a good fight there by Brown. But unfortunately, he comes up just a little short. And Shippensburg gets on the board first. That is a 12-8 decision for David Reagan over Dylan Brown at 125 pounds. And that's going to put the Raiders up 3-0. So now you will see Chris Crane at 133 pounds wrestling against Dante Stefanino. Crane in the midst of a big win streak. A lot of these Golden Bear wrestlers that have been consistently in the lineup have been on quite the win streak lately. 5 in a row for Crane, including a major decision 2 matches ago at East Stroudsburg and a pin over Minot State's Marco Antonio Ramirez Lazos. 0-0 early on here. Crane locked up with Stefanino. Stefanino ranked number 8 in Super Region 1, but usually wrestling at 141. Both guys out of bounds, and it looks like Coach Fisher wanted the action to continue, but the whistle blown, and the wrestlers back to the middle as they will reset. So Stefanino normally wrestling at 141, or at least that's where he's ranked number 8, but tonight wrestling at 133 here, maybe just to give himself a little bit. Looks like they actually have a couple flip-flop action going on here. Cole Rush usually at 133 is at 141, and Stefanino at 133 instead of 141. So like we said, a little bit of change up with the lineup. This is the part in the season where really you just want your guys to get through this match. Sure, you'd like to win it as a team, but more than anything else, just want them to make it through healthy, and because 10 days from now is when the real moneymaker starts, and that's Super Region 1, in what, if you're able to finish in the top 4 in your weight class, guarantees a trip to the national championships. Stefanino with a shot. Crane out of it. Expecting this one to be a good bout between Crane and Stefanino, both talented wrestlers. Stefanino with just a 2-3 record on the season, but obviously with him being ranked, definitely has the respect of the wrestling community. Coming off a loss to the number 1 wrestler at 133, Darius Bunch from West Liberty, 8-2. Good action in the middle. Whole lot of nothing as each guy has 1 leg. And you can see the Shippensburg bench going because he's got to be careful he doesn't get down on his back. Stefanino's got a good hold. And Crane definitely down on his back, and it looks like that's going to be ruled a stalemate down there. And both guys up, but Crane got himself in a bad position there. It was kind of back and forth action, good action there, but Crane got down to his back, and Stefanino was nearly able to put him on both shoulder blades and end this. 54 seconds left here. and have a little coaches conversation with the referee and crew. Once again, we appreciate those tuning in to tonight's broadcast. Kutztown University Wrestling against Shippensburg here from Keystone Arena. We believe this may be the first ever broadcast of Kutztown Wrestling, so I'm happy to bring this to you along with the rest of the sports information staff here at Kutztown. Back in action, middle of the mat, less than a minute left here in the opening period. Crane going high, then back down low. Good job at changing levels there by Crane. Crane gets on top, and then Stefanino able to roll over, and that's going to be a 2-point takedown for Stefanino. So similar to what we saw in the last match at 125, Reagan was kind of dominating that match, able to get takedown after takedown, but Brown was able to scramble well and score there. This time it is the Raiders that are the beneficiary of what looked like it was going to be a takedown there from Crane, but Stefanino flips it on him and gets one of his own. Back down to the mat, Stefanino whips him down, and oh boy, that is not a good sign there as Stefanino completely stopped, and he is grabbing, looks like maybe his knee down there or his shoulder. He went down to the mat hard, and this is an unforgiving sport. So we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be right back after the injury timeout. You're watching Kutztown University Wrestling here on our live YouTube portal presented by the Kutztown University Sports Information staff. All right, so, you'll take a win any way you can get it, but that's not the way that you want it to go down if you're Chris Crane. Stefanino being forced to exit due to injury. And I believe that's going to give the Golden Bears it's actually going to give them 16 points because it's a forfeit. So, unfortunately for Shippensburg, that's going to put them behind the 8 ball, down 6-3 in the match. And even more importantly, Dante Stefanino looked pretty banged up there after taking Crane down to the mat. It's an interesting thing there as we're going to see Petrill against Rush. So this is Anthony Petrill, twin brother of Austin Petrill, against Cole Rush at 141. But interesting thing there at 133, Stefanino was in control, and he was bringing the action, and he was the one who actually got hurt. So again, an unforgiving sport out there, and Stefanino took the worst of it. Looked like it was on his shoulder. Rush and Petrill going at it. Rush ranked number 8 in Super Region 1 at 133. So kind of that flip-flop between Rush and Stefanino. Maybe Shippensburg coaching staff, headed by Seth Bloomquist, thought that Rush would be better off at 141. It could be a situation of making weight. But 141 is where Rush will wrestle tonight, and he is taking on Anthony Petrill. No score here early on as we are about a minute in. Petrill takes a shot. Got him up high. Good snap down there by Petrill. He's going to try to control that right leg and flip himself around. Nearly able to do so. Good job of scrambling there. Is able to take him back down to the mat. And just a little bit of a whirling dervish out there. Spinning around are both guys, but neither able to get control. Good job by Petrill to keep hold of that leg. And now he's going to try to trip out Rush and get the points, but out of bounds do both wrestlers go. Clock will stop, and we are back in action in the middle of the mat. Petrill, another one of those guys riding a win streak here. So his twin brother Austin had won 6 straight before being forced out due to injury of the last 2 matches. Very precautionary with Austin, guy who's got aspirations for good finish at the regional and maybe further as far as the national championships are concerned. But Anthony's been rounding into form. Won his first match and then lost 9 in a row, but now is able to get. And now Petrill on top, and looks like it's riding time, and there it is. Petrill with the pin. So he caught Rush napping and took advantage, and Petrill puts him on his back, and that's a fall for the Golden Bears. So, boy, Petrill didn't even let me get his record out, but now that's 6 in a row for Petrill, and KU with a huge lead now after the 6-point forfeit and 6-point pin by Anthony Petrill, up comfortably 12-3, as we are now at 149, and it's Austin Scrivani taking on Cody Blankenship. Scrivani and Blankenship battling out there in the middle. Scrivani has won his last 3. Good shot taken there by Blankenship. Going to try to snap Scrivani down to the mat. Scrivani scrambling around, not able to get there. And now action towards the edge of the mat, towards that Raider bench. We'll see if Scrivani tries to make his way back in or just kind of back himself out to reset. Scrivani goes for the snap down, trying to get around Blankenship, nearly able to do so. Whole lot of nothing there on the far side. Scrivani won by a fall against Tanner Chrysler of Minot State in 142. So a quick pin for Scrivani, and then 2 straight wins by decision against ESU and Millersville, 14-7 and 12-8. Scrivani out of bounds up top and back into the middle. 1 minute gone here in the first period. And KU was a tough start. Dylan Brown really gave it all he had at 125, losing that one 12-8. But now 2 straight wins for KU, one by injury forfeit from Chris Crane over Dante Stefanino, and then the big pin by Petrill in the last match. Caught me off guard, to be honest. I looked down for a second, and he had Rush rolling around on the ground and was able to take him down. Scrivani with control of that left leg. Rolling now with Rush. Scrivani trying to roll all the way over to get control. Nearly did. A good job by Rush. Now Scrivani's got to get back in position as Rush has a good control of the leg. And that's a 2-point takedown awarded there before Scrivani goes out of bounds. So with 1:21 left here in the first period, Rush takes the 2-0 lead. Rush has had a solid season so far, sporting a 9-5 overall record, 8-3 in duels, and has 4 falls and 2 major decisions. So Cole Rush definitely one to pick up bonus points for his team when it calls for that. 6 of his 9 wins coming before the final whistle. Rush on top after getting that takedown of Scrivani. Not a whole lot of movement going on early. And exactly what we said there, as stalemate called. And they're going to reset in the middle. Scrivani on the bottom, and Rush will cover up. Blankenship underneath, and he goes to scramble for it. Scrivani tried to get out of that. Nearly able to do so, and he's got Blankenship on his back. No 2 awarded yet. Looks like count going there. Not able to get out. And Scrivani back to the middle with 30 seconds to go. So this is a time Scrivani and Blankenship been going back and forth. Looks like it's going to be a low-scoring match, low-scoring bout here. And this is a time for Scrivani to try to get that escape, keep the riding time under a minute, but even more so, look to take a shot here in the last 30 seconds. Employing Scrivani to scramble on the mat, get out of that, get the 1-point escape, and see if he can't build something out of that. Counting down the clock, KU coaching staff, but Scrivani's got nowhere to go here in the first period. Blankenship controlling well at the waist, keeping his hips glued to Austin, and that'll give him the 2-0 lead headed in to the second period. 12-3 your score here from Keystone Arena. KU with back-to-back 6-point bonus point victories after a loss at 125. Scrivani on top. as Blankenship elects to go underneath and looks to get out of it quickly. Scrivani on top, but not really a great angle. Good trip there by Scrivani. He's going to take down Blankenship. Looks like a count there, and that's a 2-point near fall and takedown there for Scrivani. So Scrivani with a good job here of getting to the action early, getting to his offense, and doing it effectively. Tying this one up at 2-2, and now trying to build that riding time back down, which is now under a minute. Scrivani trying to tie up that left arm down on the mat. He's got control, but Blankenship trying to just work his way up slowly, as it looks like Blankenship with the right arm has control of Scrivani's right leg, but Scrivani able to work his way out of that. Now he's got Blankenship down and really moving that arm. Hard for Blankenship to do much down there. Scrivani with great control up top. Staying heavy on the mat and keeping Blankenship at bay. Scrivani has erased all of Blankenship's riding time now and is looking to build up some of his own here as that clock hits 0. Scrivani scrambling around. Blankenship in a better position now, somewhat up. Scrivani just trying to hang on for dear life as Blankenship tries to roll over and get the reversal. Unable to do so, and he's back on his back, but his shoulder blade not down. No points awarded, and Scrivani brings him back down hard, but out of bounds. We will reset in the middle, so great job by Scrivani. He's just been very good at working his way around, keeping Blankenship to the mat, and then picking his spots. Nearly able to pin him twice here in the second period. 2-2 the score here at 1:49. Set to go with 23 seconds left here in the second. Scrivani locked up. Looks like Blankenship's going to get out, and he does. So that's a 1-point escape now for Blankenship, and he takes a 3-2 lead. See if Scrivani or Blankenship really tries to go for anything here in the last 10 seconds, or whether they're going to be content to settle this one in the third period. Not much action going on, and we are going to period 3 with Blankenship holding the 3-2 lead. Both wrestlers up and neutral, and we should see some good action here. Blankenship with the 1-point lead, but Scrivani knowing he just needs a takedown and a ride out to finish this one off. Blankenship, a senior from Kane area, Kane, Pennsylvania native, going down to his knees early. An interesting strategy there. I think he's just trying to bait Scrivani into making a hard move and then get a shot down low. Back up. Scrivani seems to be giving a couple inches to Blankenship. We don't have their heights listed here, just weights, but long guys Blankenship, but Scrivani uses that low leverage to his advantage, takes a shot, and gets the takedown. And now he knows if he can get a ride out, it'll be good. Slams it back down onto the mat, trying to use his weight, keep him down, but Blankenship doing a good job of getting out of it. No escape awarded yet, and Scrivani scrambling to stay on top and has done a great job so far. But looks like they're close to being out of bounds, and the whistle blown there. So with 53 seconds left, Scrivani will be back in on top of Blankenship. And as we mentioned, Scrivani just needs a ride out now. He's up 4-3. And riding time in neither guy's favor. If he can put another 14 seconds up there, he'll get an additional point. But really won't matter much, as if Blankenship gets out, he's going to need a quick takedown to win this one. Scrivani and Blankenship battling. Blankenship able to lock those hands, but Scrivani able to get on top of him. If he can use that weight to push him forward, we got to count down. That's 1, 2, and that's a 4-point near fall there for Scrivani. And as long as he doesn't make a critical mistake, that should pretty much do it. Great job there by Scrivani of battling it out, keeping Blankenship down on the mat for most of this period, and getting the huge 4-point near fall reversal there for Blankenship, as now the score 8-5. But Blankenship's going to need to let Scrivani out of it with just 10 seconds left to score, unless he's going for a near fall. And that's a 1 point awarded there for stalling to Blankenship, but with the big near fall there in the last minute for Austin Scrivani, he claims the 8-6 decision. Great job of wrestling and scrambling there by Scrivani. Scrivani just a redshirt freshman, but looking poised and experienced out there on the mat was Austin. And now at 157, Mikey O'Brien taking on Brady Menser of Shippensburg. Quick action here. O'Brien and Menser locked up on the near side. Up high, O'Brien and Menser really going hard, and O'Brien takes him down to the mat for 2. So KU really as a team has been applying the action early, and O'Brien puts him on his back. That's a count there. And it looks like that's going to be 2 more on the near fall as O'Brien dominating here early, and he's got him on his back once again. O'Brien in the midst of a 6-match win streak. Hasn't lost in over a month. Last loss on January 4th, and just continues to build up near fall points. He is looking for the fall for the Golden Bears right now. Up 8-0 early, and the tech fall certainly seems within reach for O'Brien early on, but he's trying to end it right now, back on his back, as O'Brien having his way with Menser, and that's 4 more now for O'Brien. And shoot, we might not even make it out of the first period in this one, as O'Brien needs just 3 more points to end it. Menser has no answer for O'Brien. That's 2, and he now just needs 1 more to finish it off. And if I had to guess, he will get it, as he's holding 2 down on the mat, looking to flip him around, and now the score 14-0, and he might be able to end it. That should do it. That will do it. With the near fall, that's 2 more points, and that is it. That's a tech fall and complete domination by Mikey O'Brien. Needs just 1 minute and 58 seconds to dispatch Brady Menser, and KU with another win. And it is all Golden Bears right now, up 20-3. So now we will see Connor Rogovich at 165 taking on Abner Thompson. Thompson 1-3 on the season for the Raiders, junior from South Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Academy Park High School. Another guy who probably doesn't see the lineup very often, Abner Thompson, just 1-3 on the season. But like we said, trying to get some rest for those guys that maybe are a little bit banged up. Good move there by Thompson, making me eat my words. Looks like he's very comfortable out there, able to get the single leg on Rogovich. Rogovich 6-8 on the season. And both wrestlers working hard towards the KU bench, out of bounds. And we're back in action at the middle of the mat. 2:23 left here. Rogovich has struggled of late. Walt losing his last 3. 2 decisions against Pembroke and Minot State, and then losing a major decision to ESU's Mike Racciapi. But we should mention the major decision loss. Racciapi, the number 5 ranked wrestler in the nation at 165. So Rogovich looking to get back to the winning ways here. 6-8 record on the season. Rogovich, a sophomore from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Cherry Hill West High School. And really not much there for either wrestler here early on. Good shot by Rogovich, defended well there by Thompson. Looked like Rogovich was going to have the single leg for a second, but Thompson able to back out and get away. Thompson, another one of those long guys, hard to get to, able to keep you at a distance with his arms, and legs are able to back away. But now the single leg got in there, and trying to pull him back in is Rogovich, but awarded that he went out of bounds, and we are still neutral on top. Rogovich trying to pick his spot. When he's been able to get into the body here of Thompson, he's had success. It's just those long arms. He's got to try to find a way to fend him off or tie him up and get down low. There it is. Snap down there, but no dice for Rogovich. Working hard, though, is Connor. Continues to go at it. And sometimes it's about who can apply more offense, and right now that is Rogovich here in the first period. Snap down low, and Rogovich able to get on top, and now can he capitalize? Trying to flip himself around to find the waist of Thompson, but Thompson able to keep him at bay with that arm once again. Snap down, nothing doing. And both wrestlers separate, and we're in the last 20 seconds here of the first period. It's been a quick one tonight so far. We're already one period, or nearly one period through 165. There's 4 weight classes left, and Thompson able to get the big takedown in the final 10 seconds. And if you're Rogovich, that's got to be frustrating. He's really been working the action, but Thompson picks his shot, shoots it, and he makes the most of it there in the last 10 seconds. Thompson now covering up Rogovich on the mat. 2-0 the score in favor of Abner Thompson, Chip's 165-pounder. Let's kind of bring you up to speed on where we were at. Ship with a big win, as good action in the middle. Ship with the win at 125, winning 12-8 in a good fight by Dalen Brown of KU. Came up just a little bit short, but Chris Crane defeated Dante Stefanino on what looked like a scary injury for Stefanino. We hope the best for the 133-pounder from Shippensburg, but then that got KU on a run. Petrill, Scrivani, and O'Brien all getting bonus points on their way to victory. Down low, another shot. Thompson keeps him at a distance, and now he's got a good angle here as he looks to work his way around. Covers up the ankle, and that is a takedown for Thompson, as now he takes a 4-1 lead. Rogovich just got to do his best to get out of this and to try to work his action, and he does. So now 4-2 the score, less than a minute left here in the second period, and we'll see if Rogovich can be the one now to score in the last minute. Rogovich goes for the shot, gets the single leg. Is he going to flip around? He's close there, and nothing ruled, and a great job by Thompson to work his way out of it. Looked like he was dead to rights, but Rogovich unable to convert, and then Thompson smartly takes advantage of Rogovich out of position and gets another takedown. So wrestling can be an interesting sport sometimes. It's not always about who's able to take the guy down initially to the mat. It's about who gets the best position and technique once you get down there. And right now, Thompson has been having his way here in this period. Rogovich out of it again. And, boy, he could really use a takedown to build some momentum going into period 3. 6 seconds left here. Looks like both guys content to stay high in the clinch and work for the third period. So Thompson, for a guy who's wrestled just 4 times officially this season, showing no signs of rust, as he has been all over it tonight. Rogovich on top. Maybe a strategy to try to build up some riding time here, maybe get himself to a minute, but really doesn't have time for that. If I'm Rogovich, I'm letting him out and going for a few takedowns here, trailing 6-3. Really not going to be able to do much without being able to get a takedown unless you're going to go for the pin. Looks like Rogovich rolling him over. Almost able to get him on one shoulder blade, but no dice there. And Rogovich nearly put himself in that bad position and escape there. Looks like that's a point awarded to Thompson as he got out, and now it's a 2-point takedown for Thompson. Rogovich really has to think about pin now. Looks like we got a blood stoppage out on the mat. Rogovich wiping his nose. The KU training staff going to tend to him quickly. But 9-3 the score in favor of Thompson, as it looked like it was going to be pretty close and down to the wire, but Thompson strong here in the third period and now has a comfortable 6-point lead. If you're Rogovich, you got to try to bait him into something and take advantage of it, getting yourself at minimum a near fall, but you could really use a pin with just 1:10 left and trailing by 6. So just to preview what we're going to see the rest of the way while we have a little stoppage here at 174. Chad Hagley going to take on Ryan Narber. Jeff Riemel versus Alexi Castro at 184 and 197. Dominic Monero against number 3 ranked Evan Ramos for Shippensburg. And then Kutztown's number 5 ranked Ryan Appleby will put the bow on this one, taking on Derek Berberick of Shippensburg. Cleaning up, and not just cleaning up Rogovich, but cleaning up the mat. He's got some carnage out there, but it'll be taken care of. It's not the first or last blood stoppage we'll see in a wrestling match. Said not a very forgiving sport out there. We saw Stefanino get injured. Now we see blood from Rogovich, and we're only about halfway through. Looks like both guys are being checked on. Thompson talking a little strategy. And, you know, if you're Thompson right now with a 6-point lead, you got to find a way to, I mean, a tech fall is pretty much out of reach. You need to win by 15. So you got to find a way to get your team some bonus points. A 6-point pin would be huge here to bring your team back into it. You're trailing 20-3. And you could pretty much count on a win at 197 with number 3 Evan Ramos slated to wrestle. And hopefully he can pick you up some bonus points as well, too. So you're really looking to capitalize here if you're Thompson. At minimum, get the major. But really, he's been dominating Rogovich here, especially over the last 2 periods. And if he could find a way to get a pin, that would be huge. Looks like Rogovich ready to go. Mats are clearing off. And we're about set back underway. Rogovich on bottom as Thompson going to cover up with 1:10 left here in the 3rd period. Again, 20-3 your score. As KU looking to make it 7 in a row and win their last duel of the season. Right away, Rogovich out of it, working quickly, and now he needs to take a shot. But Thompson really asserting himself and pushing the action. Fake down for Thompson. Nothing there. Rogovich tries to go low. And it's really just that reach of Thompson that's keeping Rogovich away. He's taking a couple good shots down towards the legs, but not able to get in close enough. Rogovich almost able to get it there and now gets himself in a bad position, and Thompson gets a 2-point takedown. So, you know, wrestling is a lot. I mean, especially like a combat sport like boxing, sometimes when the guy has a reach on you, there's just not much you can do. And that is the way Thompson has approached this match, keeping Rogovich at a distance where he's able to take a shot on him, but Rogovich simply cannot reach the bigger Thompson. Thompson lets out Rogovich, and that's an escape there, 11-5 the score. And Rogovich gets himself a takedown. I don't know what Thompson was doing there. Got himself way out of position. And Rogovich has got to try to let him out and keep working. But it looks like he's just going to keep him down and be content. Or try to roll him on his back. Let's see. Here in the last 5 seconds, he's going to try but run out of time. As the final score is Abner Thompson 11 and Connor Rogovich 7 at 165. But for Rogovich, a good job of not giving up those bonus points. Battling back, getting that takedown late, and getting the victory. And you like to see that sportsmanship there from Thompson, going over to shake the hands of the other team's coaches, even if they don't want anything to do with it. Good job there by Thompson to show that sportsmanship. And you know what? He's very cognizant. It's PSAC Sportsmanship Week, so well done there, Thompson, as he's pleased with himself after winning that match. So now Chad Hagley and Ryan Narber squaring off at 174. Hagley, another one of those guys who has been wrestling well of late. Winning his last match over Kyle Narber at 174. So I had to do a double take there. So Hagley all season wrestled at 149. Was somewhat of mixed results, but wrestled for the first time at 174 in KU's last duel against Millersville and won an 11-7 decision and looked great at 174. So Hagley carrying a little bit more weight seems to bode well for him, and now he will be facing a Narber for the 2nd consecutive match, and we'll see if he can't repeat the result from last time. Hagley up high. Narber on the season, 6-11. So we apologize. We thought that it was going to be James Meyer wrestling, but it's actually Chad Hagley for Kutztown. We'll get that adjusted here shortly. But in the meantime, just know that it's Hagley out on the mat. Hagley and Narber, a whole lot of nothing through the first minute 30. Narber trying to snap down Hagley. Hagley does a good job fending that off. Hagley and Narber really just kind of looking for a tell. See if maybe they can catch each other off balance and go in for the kill shot. But right now, both guys really just feeling each other out here in the first period. A lot of shots to the head here from Hagley. We'll have to be careful with that. Narber goes for the shot. Hagley takes advantage and gets the takedown. So that's kind of the cat and mouse game that you look at when you're wrestling. Do you go for the guy? Because if you miss, he's going to take advantage. And Narber went, he missed, and Hagley with the capitalization. Hagley on top, riding out Narber, takes him back down to the mat, using that weight well, and staying heavy on top. 30 seconds left now here in the first period. Looks like we have it adjusted, so now you can see on the stream that it is in fact Chad Hagley, and he has a 2-0 lead over Ryan Narber. This one, Hagley providing some fireworks here early, getting the early takedown, but these next three are going to be great ones with Jeff Riemel, number 3 in Super Region 1 at 184. And then we're going to see Evan Ramos on the other side at 197, the number 1 ranked wrestler in the Super Region, and number 3 in Division 2. That'll be a tough one for Don Monero as we make our way to period 2 between Hagley and Narber. And then at 285, number 5, Ryan Appleby, ranked 2nd in the region and 5th in Division 2. We'll be taking on Derek Berberick, number 7 in Super Region 1. So that may be a preview of a matchup we'll see at regionals between Appleby and Berberick. And Appleby going to want to come away with a solid result there. It's our only matchup of both wrestlers being regionally ranked tonight, just due to the way the lineups shook out. Hagley out quick, and now he's up 3-0. See if Narber maybe lets Hagley force the action and tries to catch him napping, because that last time Narber went to force the action and Hagley flipped around excellently. Hagley up top. Narber goes for the throw. Nothing there. Hagley scrambles away. Both guys battling their own share of injuries. Hagley with the shoulder sleeve on, and Narber wearing that extra headgear on top. No action there as both guys went down for the shot. Good action in the middle of the mat, but coach is employing patience. There's no reason for Hagley to get himself out of position, just to leave himself at bay. Both guys up here in the second period, other than an escape from Hagley. Not a whole lot of action. That's sometimes what happens when you get two evenly ranked wrestlers, evenly matched, is that both just trying to feel each other out and not able to get much going. As wrestling, you know, as much of it's an offensive sport, and you got to score to win, defense is a huge part of it. And right now, both guys on the mat doing a good job of protecting themselves and staying defensive, not allowing any easy shots. Narber went low for the shot. Didn't work there. Going to try to snap Hagley down to the mat. Got a good hold on the back of the neck. Narber and Hagley just moving around. And I think that as we head to period 3, that piece of cloth that Narber's wearing on top of his head, trying to keep that hair inside. As it looks kind of like what you used to see the lunch ladies wear in middle school and elementary school with the hairnet. But Narber wearing the hairnet out on the mat. And I'm sure Hagley appreciates that. He doesn't want a face full of flow here while he's trying to take the guy down. Hagley with some good action here. Gets Narber on his back. Hagley really strong down on the mat. Narber trying to get up to his feet, and he does. and he'll get the 1-point escape. Hagley with good movement, staying low. Narber goes for the shot. Hagley able to fend it off. And now Narber working around. He's on the one leg, nothing ruled, and he's out of bounds. So we're neutral straight up. Definitely understand the premise of the hair cover, but it almost seems to be distracting Narber on the mat. It keeps falling off. Hagley keeps messing with it, and I think that's exactly what you want, is your opponent worried about something else versus trying to get you down on the mat. Now Narber seems less than worried about it, as that thing's about to come flying off, and he is ready to go here in the last minute of the period. Gets the one leg, single leg there. Hagley trying to flip around. Nothing ruled yet. Hagley does a nice job scrambling out of that for now. Narber still has control of the left leg, but Hagley with a firm grip around the waist. Hagley continuing the scramble, looking up at the clock. 35 seconds left here. This has been an exciting one. Hagley does have that 1 minute of riding time advantage, where even if Narber does get a takedown, if he can get out of it quick, they are out of bounds. So they'll be back up in neutral. But if Narber gets a takedown here in the last 25 seconds, Hagley may just have enough to survive. But I think for Chad, he's just looking to end it here with getting away from getting ticked down. Yes, Narber goes for the shot. No go there, just like we saw in the first period, and Hagley capitalizes. So we saw it once and we see it again. First in the first and now in the third. Narber goes low, Hagley backs out and flips around for the takedown, and this one pretty much over as Narber trying for the late takedown, but he will not get it, and Chad Hagley gets the big victory here at 174 by decision by a final of 6-1 with the riding time, and KU now up 23-6. Now kind of one of the ones that I've certainly been waiting for. Jeff Riemel, number 3 ranked wrestler at 184 in Super Region 1, facing off with Shippensburg's Alexi Castro. Riemel on a 5-match winning streak, or 5-bout winning streak, looking for an early takedown there for Castro, and he's already got one. Trying to put him on his back. Riemel has a flair for the dramatic, but unable to do it there early on. But hold your hats, because we may see that again. Riemel now stuck as Castro has a hold of that one leg. He's going to go for the trip there, but Riemel scrambling well, hopping around there like a bunny, and almost able to get out, and he does, as he's just trying to free that right leg, is able to do so, and now he's back on top. Great scramble there by Riemel, but we talked about him in his last 5 matches, which have been all wins, 3 pins, and 2 major decisions. So Riemel doesn't just beat you, he beat you bad, and he is ready for this one again. Here, Castro nearly had a shot there, but now Jeff in control on top. Riemel trying to flip him over, and he's getting encouragement from the coaching staff as he wants to roll him and pin him right here. Riemel with an 11-7 record on the season. Out of bounds there. Couple losses to some regionally ranked guys, but then some wins. So Riemel has been kind of hot and cold, but right now he's been extremely hot here in the last 5 matches and looks to be wrestling his best at the right time of the season. One of those major decisions came over the number 10 ranked wrestler in the region, Nick Costa of Gannon, and it was a decisive win for Jeff, 11-3. Riemel with the false start there. He will be warned. Going to have to just be smart here and making sure he does not move before the whistle. 2 more to go after this one. Riemel goes early again. So it looks like the first time it was actually the Shippensburg wrestler Castro that went early, and then this time Riemel goes early. So both guys trying to jump the gun. They sense the urgency in this match, but now we're back started. Minute 41 left here in the first period, and Riemel in control on top. Building up some riding time, but I wouldn't be surprised before long to see Jeff go to work and try to end this one. Remo gets him over top, trying to flip around, but not able to do so. Swings him back down to the mat. Remo is just a man out there, and Castro being thrown around like a rag doll. On top once again, Remo, and he looks content, really. Trying to kind of ride out Castro, wait for his opportunity, and take advantage. Castro, on the other hand, has kind of been a dead fish down on the mat, really not able to do much, and that's a testament to Remo. And confirmation from the stat squad here, a.k.a. My dad, says that a win here for Remo will clinch the duel for KU. So KU pretty much well on its way to clinching its 7th dual victory in a row. I guess you kind of do that quick math there. They would need bonus points. They would need a pin, a 6-point pin, or a forfeit in each of the next 3 matches to take a 24-23 win. But right now, Remo having none of that. And that'd be tough sledding considering they've got Appleby to go up against at 285. Out of bounds are both guys. 2 seconds left here in the period. You're going to probably see a whole lot of nothing. Remo will just ride him out. He's got plenty of riding time built up. And now with the riding time built up and the 2-point lead, Remo going to go for the kill shot, I'd guess, here in the second period. And that will do it for the first period. Jeff Remo with the 2-0 lead. And Remo getting some encouragement from his fellow wrestlers here in the stands. And that's one part I like about Remo. A lot of wrestlers really don't like to be talked to. They like to be alone and do their thing. But Remo kind of works off the crowd. He plays to them sometimes, and you'll see him with a couple good celebrations when he wins. He's flexed on a few guys this year, and, you know, you like to see that. They work so hard out there that they should reward themselves when they do well and get a little celebration action going. Remo tries to take him down, and caught off balance there is Castro. Able to scramble out. Remo trying to snap down. He's got a good position there on Castro. Continuing to be heavy on top. Castro getting control, but out of bounds. And, man, that when this action gets to the corners or even up top, very little room outside of the circle on this mat. You almost worry about a guy slamming his head on the wood floor. But thankfully that did not happen. And the wrestler's back into the middle. Remo looking to work high and snap back down again. He just continues to bring the action to Castro. Castro just flailing away, and he's calling for action to the head. But unfortunately, Castro's going to have to do something to get a call like that when he's just backing away. And now everybody giving it to Remo. They love the action Jeff's putting on out there, and it's going to continue as soon as the whistle blows. Remo right at him with a head of steam, too. He is working it right now. And Castro seems to be affected. Snaps him down to the mat. If Remo was able to get around, that would have been a takedown. Everybody cheering on Remo. Remo in the high clench. Working with Castro. On the back of that neck. Just like Castro is now, too. Remo goes for the punch down, and he's got to be careful with that. And the coaching staff going to talk to him as that looked very, very questionable from Remo. But Remo's a guy who wrestles angry, and he's certainly hot right now on the mat. And if I'm Alexi Castro, I'd watch out. I think Remo just a little bit frustrated. He knows he's been dominating this match, but just has not been able to build up very many points. And Castro has really kind of just been backing away and surviving. Remo with the snap down. Throws down Castro. Stays down low. And he'll back away once again. Remo and Castro in a legit stare down in the middle of the mat. As they're putting on a show out there. I didn't know this was a WWE. But got a stare down between Remo and Castro. And Remo going for the work. Remo with the throw. And both guys out of bounds. Good action here from Keystone Arena. Remo kind of having his way, but not able to score much. And that stare down in the middle is something I've never seen before. Both guys just mean-mugging each other in the middle of the mat, almost daring one of them to come at it, and neither did. Remo with the snap down, going for the trip, and he cannot get Castro down. Castro goes for that, and the period has ended here. And this has been a great bout. 2-0 in favor of Remo. He does have the 2 minutes of riding time built up, so that will be his regardless. But now Castro gets a chance to get on top, and Remo can get the 1 point escape quickly. We should see some good action here as it progresses. For those of you that will be traveling to the national tournament in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, we have a recommendation shout-out. So I recommend Iowa Brewing Company. Personal friend of mine's dad actually owns that in Cedar Rapids, and it's a good venue from personal experience. Usually live music at IBC, along with some of the best craft beers in the world. Back in action, Remo with the escape, and a 3-0 lead now for Jeff. Be interesting to see what he does here. You know he wants to pin Castro. He's been frustrated in this match, but right now, thinking about getting out of here with the W. 1:15 left. Castro still not providing a whole lot. Remo throwing him away. And he is just like a dog out there, just keeps coming at it. Remo and Castro. High up top. Remo, the number 3 ranked wrestler in Division 3. We're in Division 2 in the Super Region 1, and looking to prove that here against Castro, a guy that's unranked, 3-4 on the season, but he's given Remo everything he can handle. Hasn't really brought much action to Jeff, but certainly hasn't given up much either. Remo trying to go low, and it looks like that is a stall warning, or is that a warning there on Remo? A point awarded. Not sure what that was, and now we're going to have a little conversation between the coaching staffs. And what do you think, CJ? Should we get a little wrestling match between the coaches? I think that would be pretty much must-see TV. If we got Bloomquist up against Fisher, I'd like to see who's going to take that one. Yeah, we want to see that. We want to see some action, some bare action between the head coaches. Steel cage or tables, ladders, and chairs maybe between the two head coaches. I'm in for it. The one coach we don't want to see wrestling anyone out there is Ziad Haddad, because he will give the work. I don't care if he's not at 285 anymore. He will definitely. I would be surprised if him and Appleby wouldn't be a good match still. Remo puts Castro down, so that break in action, exactly what Jeff needed. He gets the big 2, and now he's in control as the clock ticks down to 0. And Remo going to get the win. He had to battle hard on this one, and it got a little chippy out there on the mat, but it is over, and Remo claims the victory. So now the duel is decided. KU's going to win it regardless with just 2 bouts left and a 20-point lead. But now this is one of the ones we've been waiting for, along with 285. Number 3 ranked Evan Ramos, 19-1, and number 1 ranked in Super Region 1, number 3 in Division 2. And Monero is going to have his hands full here tonight against Ramos. Monero was made quick work of by Colton Dull, a 15-0 tech fall in his last match against Millersville, but had won 2 in a row prior to that. Faced a ranked wrestler, regionally ranked number 8 Wes Phipps of Mercyhurst, lost a 9-4 decision to Phipps. So Monero really has got to find a way to just stave off Ramos. I mean, at this point, it's been decided as far as the match is concerned, or the duel is concerned, but if you're Monero, I mean, you got to have that chip on your shoulder wrestling against a number 3 guy in the country and give him all he can handle. Monero takes a shot, gets a little bit of a single leg, but now Ramos is in control, and he's going to work himself around, but Monero scrambles out of the hold there, and we're still 0-0 here after a minute and a half. So it looks like maybe getting some confirmation that point awarded to Castro in the last match was because of a headbutt by Riemel. So Riemel trying anything he can do out there, but he got the victory, and that is all that matters. Not a lot of action here. I figured Ramos would try to make quick work of this, trying to rest up for regionals, but nothing so far. But just as I say that, he gets a good hold of Monero, and he tries to scramble around for 2. Good scramble on the other end by Monero, and Monero might be able to get him out of bounds. Looks like Ramos still in, but out of play. There is Monero. So Monero staves off the first shot by Ramos, and both wrestlers up neutral with less than a minute to go. Pretty decent crowd here for a wrestling meet on senior night at Keystone Arena. Second night in a row that Kutztown has hosted the Raiders, and with this one being decided, it has been a sweep of ship here over the last 2 days. Women's basketball and men's basketball claiming 2 victories last night in front of, especially during the men's game, a raucous crowd here at Keystone Arena. Big double OT win for the Golden Bears. And now, looking to make it 3 in a row. Combining sports here as KU pretty much decided this, but Monero, if he could get a win here, that might be even bigger than the double OT win for the men's basketball team last night, going against the number 3 ranked guy in the nation. 10 seconds left, and Monero giving everything he's got here. Ramos, senior from Hawthorne, New Jersey, by way of Hawthorne High School, and Monero, the freshman from Nutley, New Jersey, Queen of Peace High School for Monero, and a freshman versus a senior, so that is youth versus experience at its best. And Monero giving all he can handle in the first period. We'll have to see if Ramos tries to force the action a little bit more here in the second period. Ramos takes the shot, gets a single leg, going to try to get Monero down to the mat. He does, and he is able to control, and that's 2 points now for Ramos. Like I said, Ramos really asserting himself here in the second period. Was unhappy with how he wrestled in the first 3 minutes. Now he's got Monero on his back. Monero able to get up and out, and nearly all the way out, but he's just going to take him out of bounds. And you can see the danger of Ramos. He just needs one shot. If he gets you down on the mat, he's looking for the kill shot. Gets him on his back and nearly able to get some near fall points, but Monero does a nice job of scrambling out of that. Back on top here. Second to last bout. And for a match that started at maybe 7:35 after the senior day festivities, maybe even 7:40. 8:45, pretty good time here. An hour and 5 minutes thus far with just one match remaining. Got a period and a half to go in this one, and then one more at heavyweight. Ramos on top, controlling Monero, and this is where Monero is going to be in a tough spot. Ramos is great on top, and that is what makes him a nationally ranked wrestler. Once he gets up there, he's able to not only score, but really keep his opponent at bay for most of the match. At this point, Monero is really just going to have to work to get the escape and then see if he can't, shock the world with a takedown here in the third period and either make this one go to sudden death OT or maybe work that riding time down, get a victory of his own. Ramos content to stay on top with the 2-0 lead. Now he's built up. Going to have about a minute 37 of riding time as we get to the end of the second period. Monero now on top. And Ramos gets out of it with ease. Now Monero in a tough spot. He's going to have to get himself vulnerable, take a shot. And if you're Ramos, I just play the wait-and-see game. See if Monero tries to lunge and capitalize. Monero goes for the lunge, and Ramos capitalizes, gets on the leg, and is able to get the takedown, and that's 2 more points for Ramos. So what looked like it was going to be exciting to the end is now going to require a valiant effort by Monero, as Ramos is on top. And as much as he'd like to score bonus points, really not a lot of advantage in doing that. I mean, his team is already going to lose, so he doesn't necessarily need to look for the fall or the major. But I think just from a confidence standpoint, he'd like it, and oh, yes, he would, as he gets Monero on his back. No near-fall points awarded, and the Shippensburg coaching staff less than pleased with that. I honestly thought he was on his back, but again, I am far from a wrestling expert. I'm going to have to refer to the referee. He says no, and Monero gets out. So we're back up neutral. Score 5-1 in Ramos' favor. Snap down, good shot. Single leg there for Ramos. That's an easy 2-point takedown. Awarded to him, and 30 seconds left before we are going to see Ryan Appleby against Derek Berberick, which I think is going to be one of the better bouts of the night. Ramos has got to control that right ankle, and he's trying to flip over Monero, get him on his back for the pin. Can he do it in the last 15? Monero fighting it off. Ramos still working there. 8 seconds left. Clock ticking down. It looks like Monero's going to stave off the pin, but Ramos will get the 8-1 victory with riding time. And Ramos flexing his muscles and showing why he's number 1 ranked in the Super Region at 197 and number 3 in Division 2. Guy who is surely headed back to the national tournament and gets the big victory. Score now 26-9, and Ryan Appleby fittingly finishes it off on this senior night. And it's Appleby's last time ever wrestling here at KU. And Appleby getting a nice cheer here from the Kutztown women's soccer team. Always good to see Golden Bears supporting Golden Bears. And Appleby being employed by his little fan club down here off to our right. Appleby and Berberick going toe-to-toe here. Appleby, a senior from Belvedere, New Jersey. And Berberick, the sophomore from Greensburg, PA. Once again, Appleby ranked number 5 in the country and number 2 in Super Region 1. Berberick number 7 in Super Region 1. 12-8 record for Berberick and a 16-4 record for Appleby. Recently, Appleby's kind of gotten back on the right track after losing a tough decision to Jannard Rosemond of American International. Uncharacteristic loss for Appleby against a guy who was not even ranked, 7-6. But then came out against Pembroke, 28-12 tech fall, and then a decision, a tech fall, and a decision for Ryan in his last 4 matches. And he's just been a guy who's been very consistent during his time here at KU, and his senior season no different. Look, I mean, more than anything, you just want to see him get the victory here at heavyweight, but it would be cool to see Appleby get a pin in his last ever match here at Keystone Arena. Appleby working high. Berberick trying to keep him at a good distance. Again, similar to what we saw with Riemel against Castro. A lot of action being forced by Appleby, not a lot from the Shippensburg wrestler. And now Appleby takes advantage, gets there, and is not able to cover him up for the takedown. It was close, but Berberick felt he was vulnerable and kind of backed himself out, which is a smart play there. I mean, he knew he was going to get takedown, took him down, and was able to kind of get himself out of bounds and live to fight another day. Less than a minute left here in period 1 between Appleby and Berberick. Golden Bears versus Raiders. but really bear versus bear at 285. Appleby got some control. He's got a hold of Berberick on the right leg. Flexibility shown there by Berberick for a second, but only for a second as Appleby covers up and gets the takedown. That's what we talked about in some of these other matches. You get the takedown in the last 10, 15 seconds. That can really swing the result. And Appleby does exactly that as we'll take a 2-0 lead into period number 2. Again, with Appleby and Berberick both being ranked in the top 10 in the Super Region, this certainly could be a matchup we see again come regional time. And right now, Appleby had his way there in the first period, able to get that takedown. Nearly had 2 of them, but is certainly satisfied with the one in the last 10 minutes. And now looks to work his way out of Berberick's grip. Berberick with the trip there, and out of bounds is Appleby as he'll go back down. Berberick going to do everything he can to ride out Appleby here and try to pick up the riding time, knowing that he will then just need a takedown to win, but Appleby having none of it as he gets out of it easily. And now Appleby with the 3-0 lead. Appleby and Berberick. Appleby goes for the shot down low. Berberick answers. Appleby out of it. Guys on the head. Appleby fakes down low. Berberick doesn't fall for it. And just as a casual fan, at this weight class, it really amazes me. I mean, you got 2 guys at 285 pounds that are somehow able to take each other down. Just can't imagine being able to throw that type of weight. Appleby and Berberick action up high, and really not a lot going on there in the second period as we'll head to the third. But you'll see that often in heavyweight matches. It can just simply be harder to score. It's a lot of weight to throw around out there, and if a guy gets on top of you, good luck getting up. So you don't really see a ton of pins. In fact, Appleby does not have a pin on the season, but a few tech falls and a few majors. But for the most part, it's a relatively low-scoring match. And just as I say that, he almost puts Berberick on his back and gets the pin. But now Berberick able to get the 2-point reversal as Appleby tried to go for the kill, and Berberick with the answer. Now the score 3-2, and Berberick, if he rides out Appleby here, will be going into sudden victory. Appleby's got to find a way to get out of this, not let Berberick build up a minute of riding time, and there it is. So now Appleby got to get to his offense here with 1:15 left, but with a 4-2 lead, really has to prevent Berberick from getting another takedown. Ryan Appleby in his last ever match here on the campus of Kutztown University, trying to make it one to remember, as he's got a 4-2 lead over Shippensburg's Derek Berberick. And for Appleby, as you know, inconsequential as this match really is, something where he may be facing Berberick again. Berberick gets a hold of the one leg. Appleby finds a way to spin around and get a hold of Berberick. Great scramble there by Appleby. If Appleby can get the ankle out, he will get the 2-point takedown. There it is. So Appleby what a job there. It looked like Burbrick was in control, and Appleby shows his skill. And like we said, as much of it's a physical, mental sport, there's so much about technique, and Appleby does an excellent job of working his way out of that hold and getting the takedown on Burbrick, and Appleby can ride it out if he wants. He's going to try for the takedown or for the pin, but he's just going to ride it out to the end of the third, and that'll do it here from Keystone Arena. Ryan Appleby getting a victory in his last ever collegiate dual match and last ever match here at Kutztown by a final of 6-2, and KU gets the 29-9 victory, extending its win streak to 6-6 and improving its overall record to 8-6. So 7 in a row now for KU. 8-6 overall, 4-3 in the PSAC. That will be their final record on the season. Shippensburg 7-9 overall and 1-6 in the PSAC. For those of you tuning in, we appreciate your viewership, and thank you again on behalf of Kutztown University Sports Information and Kutztown University Wrestling for listening in tonight. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast, and until next time, hope that you follow the team the rest of the way as they prepare for the regional tournament here in 10 days. So for Darren Urgan on the broadcast, James Morta on the camera, CJ Hemmerly on the computer, and Olivia Novak helping out on social media tonight. Brian Salvador down at the stat table. It's been our pleasure bringing this to you, and we are signing off here from Keystone Arena. KU with a 29-9 win over the Raiders. Thank you.